guys, so this is going to be a little intro into our teeth numbers, our teeth names, our quadrants, and some of the surfaces of our teeth. This video will kind of help you get an overview, and as you begin to read, as you begin to start in lab, it will really make a lot more sense. So, as you see here, we have our upper and lower sections of our mouth. So first thing that's really important to remember is if I'm facing this, it means I'm mirroring the patient. So this patient is right in front of me, and so their right is my left, and my right is their left. So that's super important to remember. A little tip that you can use when understanding that is you can just cross your arms, and here's their right, which is you crossed your arm, now it's your right arm, and then you cross and left. So that's something to kind of help if you do get a little confused on how to know, just cross your arms and it will make a little more sense to you. But if you also just get the concept that you're mirroring it or mirroring your patient, that is also great too. So we will start with the midline. So as you see right here, we have our midline. That is something super important to remember where it is, what it means, because you will refer back to the midline a ton, and it will also help you with some of the surfaces. So to begin, on our upper right, we have quadrant 1. Then we jump over to our upper left, which is going to be our quadrant 2. We're going to jump down to our lower left, which is going to be our quadrant 3, and then jump over to our quadrant 4, which is going to be our lower right. So those are your 4 quadrants. We will kind of go over the teeth now. So your first 2 front teeth on your upper and lower, right here and here, these are going to be your central incisors. We'll go over teeth numbers in just a minute, but the 2 front ones are going to be your central incisors, and you'll remember that one as central being the center of your mouth. From there, you can go 1 to the left and 1 to the right, and same thing, go either way, and these are going to be your lateral incisors. And then as we jump one more over, you are going to have your canines. And canines are super easy to remember. I think it's one of the most common teeth that people already know. And your canines can be really guiding points for learning your teeth and learning where they are in relationship to the mouth. So sometimes it's really important to maybe learn those teeth numbers, and then sometimes it all follows through and you're better able to understand the other teeth numbers as well. And so your canine to your canine completes your anterior teeth. So canine to canine completes your anterior teeth. So let's go over the numbering of the anterior teeth. So your central incisors are 8 and 9. Your lateral incisors are 7 and 10. And your canines are 6 and 11, and that is for your maxillary arch, which is your upper arch. For your mandible, which is your lower arch, you have 24 and 25 as your central incisors. You have 23 and 26 as your lateral incisors, and you have 22 and 27 as your canines. So after the anteriors, you start to get into your posterior teeth. You only have the anterior and the posterior sections of your mouth. So we will begin right after your canines, and right after your canines, you are going to have your first premolars. After your first premolars, you have your second premolars. And as you notice, these teeth are still circular, but they're smaller. So that's how you can differentiate the difference between your premolars and your molars, is they're smaller. And then after your second premolars, you will jump to your first molars, and then you'll jump to your second molars, and you'll jump to your third molars, which are also considered your wisdom teeth. The reason they go in first, second, and third is the way that they develop in your mouth. Your first ones will develop before your second ones, and your second ones will develop before your third ones. So that's why they are understood like that, and we will go over more of when they are starting to develop as well. So going back over the posterior teeth, your first premolars, which also are down here, sorry I didn't really go over those. your first premolars are right behind your canines. So your first premolars are going to be 5 and 12, 21 and 28. Your second premolars are going to be 4, 13, 20 and 29. Your first molars are going to be 3, 14, 19 and 30. Your second molars are going to be 2, 15, 18 and 31. And then your wisdom teeth, which is also a good starting point to really start to know your teeth numbers, are your 1, 16, 17 and 32. So as you begin to learn teeth, as you begin to learn the teeth numbers, you can start to find areas in your mouth where it's easy to begin counting. Like I said, so if you start with 1, you know 1 is a wisdom tooth, and then say you need to know your first premolar. You can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5 is my first premolar. So that's kind of why we focus on 1, 32, 16, 17 as a starting point. But just know that there are some typodonts that we will use in class that do not have wisdom teeth. There also are a lot of patients that you will work on that do not have wisdom teeth. So it's also super important to know that the first molar that you'll see in the back of the mouth will be your second molar, which could be 2, 15, 18, and 31. I don't want to confuse you guys too much, but let's go through the whole mouth and numbering all the teeth. So we start with 1, wisdom tooth or third molar. 2 is a second molar. 3 is a first molar. 4, second premolar. 5, first premolar. 6, canine. 7, lateral incisor. 8, central incisor. 9, central incisor. 10, lateral incisor. 11, canine. 12, first premolar. 13, second premolar. 14, molar. 15, first molar is 14, second molar is 15, and third molar is 16. So, and then once you've gone from the right to the left, you stay on the left side on the bottom and go around. So you make a whole circle. So you don't jump back over. You stay on the left side. So 16 is your wisdom tooth. You jump down to 17, which is also your third molar. 18 is your second molar. 19 is your first molar. 20 is your second premolar. 21 is your first premolar. 22 is a canine. 23 is a lateral incisor. 24 is a central incisor. 25 is a central incisor. 26 is a lateral incisor. 27 is your canine. 28, first premolar. 29, second premolar. 30, first molar. 31, second molar. And 32 is your third molar. So there's all your 32 teeth. Like I said, a lot of people do get their wisdom teeth removed, and so you'll see a lot of patients that end up with 28 teeth in the mouth. So, but it's very important to know all of these teeth regardless of that. So